When you're trying to connect to the internet from your own machine, you can come across several problems. The problem could be with your own adapter on the machine that you're trying to connect to the internet from. It could be the router that you're trying to connect through onto the internet. It could be your internet provider, or it could even be the website that you're trying to connect to. Now, Windows gives us a great tool to try and figure out what the problem may be. Sometimes it might not fix the problem, but at least this lets you try and find out what the problem is, and it's called the ping command. And to get to the ping command, we go to the bottom left hand corner of the screen to the start menu, and we right click. It brings up this menu. We want to click on the command prompt without the admin because we're not going to make any changes to the machine. So we just need to click on the command prompt, and this gives us a safety measure because we know we won't make any changes, or we can't make any changes to the machine by mistake. So we open up the command line interface and we get this. Just open it up a bit more. Now, when I'm checking the internet, what I like to do is check the adapter, my own adapter first. And to do this, we use the loopback address, which is, we put the order ping in, and then we do 127.0.0.1 and press enter, and this pings the adapter on my machine. This in essence lets us know that the adapter and on the network on my own machine is working, and that it is capable of connecting to other devices either on the local network or the outside network. If we were to put in ping 127.0.0.0 and then click enter, you can see here that it doesn't work. It has to be, with the one on the end, it has to be 127.0.0.1, and you can actually go right up. The one could actually be anywhere between the number 1 and 255, so you could actually put in 127.0.0.255 and it would work. Any number between the 1 and 255 would work on that last number, but the default use of the loopback address is just use the 1. To go further with this, what we need to do now is to check to make sure that the computer is connecting to the router okay. Now, the router by default, it's called your default gateway, and the default gateway number is usually 192.168.1.1. so we would put in ping 192.168.1.1. Now, if you don't know what your IP address is for your router or for your default gateway, the easiest way to get to it is by, again, right clicking on the start button, going to control panel, open up network and sharing. You see here we've got connections, Wi-Fi, TalkTalk. Just left click on that and then we click details. Now, the IPv4 address on this machine is 5. It's 192.168.1.1.5. That is the IP address for the machine that you're on. Your default gateway, your IPv4 default gateway, as we can see here, is 192.168.1.1. So to ping the router, to make sure that your router working, what you want to do is ping this address here. So we now know that the number that we've entered is the right number for the router. So we just click enter and it connects us to our router, and there we can see that our router is working, that we are getting a signal to the router. This just takes you to the router and then it comes back to the machine that you're working on. So at the minute we know that the router is working, that we are getting a signal to the router and the signal is being returned. I know on my network I have got a laptop that currently is switched off, and I know that the laptop, the IP address is 192.1. So it's 168.1.4. Now I know, and I've done that wrong, I need to put ping in, so it's ping 192.168.1.4. And the reason how I know this number is the correct number is, again, I just go to the control panel I go to devices and printers, and this is my laptop that I know is turned off. I just click properties, and to find out the IP address for this device I go to UPnP, and the IP address is 192.168.1.4. so OK. So I know I'm going to ping my laptop, and I know this laptop is turned off, and this will give us a different outcome. So we ping the laptop, and here you can see we've got destination host unreachable. We ping the 1.4 IP address, but because it can't contact with it, it comes back to the host destination, which is the computer that you're pinging from. And if we remember from earlier on, we saw that the IP address for this machine is 1.5. So the destination host, the actual laptop that I was pinging, or the device that I was pinging, was unreachable because it was turned off, and this is the reaction that you get from the ping command. So we know that the router is working, that we have got a gateway out onto the wider internet. So now what we need to do is check to see if we can connect to websites and other things on the outside web, which is past the default gateway. And the best way to do this, or the one I like to use, is the Google DNS server. And to ping the Google DNS server, it's ping 8.8.8.8, and this is a anycast address. This is the Google server address, the DNS server address. It could be 8.8.8.8 or 8.8.4.4. This is classed as an anycast address. So when I ping this, there are several DNS servers around the world that Google have, and this ping will be directed to the nearest server to my ping command. And when I click on the ping command, it should come back. There we've got the reply from the DNS server, and you can see the times compared to the times when we were pinging local addresses. We are now pinging something out on the wider web. You can see that the time it takes is considerably more, and that is, we have just pinged the anycast address for the Google DNS server. But we can also ping normal website addresses, and we put in google.com and we ping the google.com website, and it gives us a reply back. This is also an excellent way of finding out a website's IP address, and here you can see we've pinged the google.com website, and it's come back with the IP address. It's also come back with the time that it's taken for the ping to reach the destination, and there we can see that the IP address is the same as the one that was given for the google.com address, and it has come back, and obviously google.com is actually working, so you can connect to this. Shows you that you can connect to the Google website, so you are able to access the outside internet. Now I've got a website set up that I know is switched off at the minute. That the website exists, but it is currently switched off. So I want to ping, it's apperdj.wixsite.com. Now I know this, like I say, I know this website is turned off, and the outcome from the ping will be different from the one above, because the website is actually turned off. So we get ping, there we can see that it's given us the address for the website that I'm trying to connect to, the IP address, but the request is being timed out because the website isn't turned off. So if you're trying to connect to a website and you ping it, and you either get this back, the request timed out, or even sometimes you might get destination host unreachable, then you know that the website is having difficulties, and that's why you can't connect to it. So it's got nothing to do with your internet connection, it's just that the website is down because you have connected to Google and you know that you can connect to the internet. Another response is, I had an old website and I now know that this website doesn't exist anymore, and we ping texassw.co.uk, like I say, this website did exist but now doesn't anymore, and this is the response you get from a website that doesn't exist. And ping request could not find host texas.co.uk, please check the name and try again. That's because the website doesn't reach that particular website anymore, because it is now not in existence. And that basically is how to use ping, and the multiple ways that you can use it to find out why your internet connection isn't working. It's not a thing that fixes your internet connection, it's just a way of finding out if you are able to connect to the internet. And there are other ways of trying to find out using the command line interface on how to fix problems on the internet, but that's in another video. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it's been of some use. Thanks for watching. Bye just now.